And, I mean, you're putting a twist on a Chinese takeaway classic. The twist
and why not?
is very good to me.
It's good, isn't it? Do you know what?
Oh.
When I was in Scotland on a job years ago in Aberdeen, and after we were working, might have had a couple of sherries, we went down to a pie shop and I had a chicken curry pie, and I was thinking, that is perfect. That is just the most perfect pie.
And so because it's Burns night, I mean, we're thinking, right, OK, that might be a loose connection.
A loose connection.
It's marvellous that you've managed to link a Chinese curry pie with Scotland.
And a week before the Lunar New Year. So it all kind of matches.
There you go. And it means that we've got an excuse to have our whiskey.
Exactly. So you tuck into your pie and chips with some extra curry sauce there, and I'm going to talk you through what we've got. So basically, we're going to do this in different sets. So first off, I'm going to make the sauce. Now, I've got in here some onions and some garlic and some carrots that have been sweating down. You need to put your carrots and leave them sweating for about 7 minutes, and you want all the flavour. You're going to strain that later on. Then I'm going to take some plain flour, and I'm going to take some curry powder. I've used medium. You can go hot if you want to. I think medium does work.
So just shop-bought curry powder.
Shop-bought curry powder.
So good.
Absolutely. And all you're going to do is you're going to cook that off. You want to start cooking the flour, and you'll get a slight garlicky biscuit flavour because of the flour. So cook it all the way through, as long as you possibly can. And this is going to be the beginning of your sauce. So this is what we call a roux, which is the thickening ingredient. Then I've got some chicken stock here, and I'm going to slowly add the chicken stock in tiny little amounts, and that is going to start bringing all of that together, and you just got to bash out the lumps as much as you possibly can, but don't worry too much because you are going to strain that later on anyway. So that just goes through small amounts all the way through. So this is basically your basic Chinese curry sauce, which is so delicious. Once you've got all that in and you've bashed it all out, you're then going to add in, and I'm going to hurry through this one, but of course I would have added this very slowly, but I'm not going to do that now. So that's, you've got your kind of sauce going on just there. Then you're going to add in 2 teaspoons of honey. So that's your sweet, and as we know with Asian food, it's always about sweet and sour. So 2 teaspoons of honey. Then you're going to put in your sour or your salt, and that's going to be 4 teaspoons of light soy, not dark soy. That goes all the way in. Then we are going to add in, once that's mixed through, now that would have thickened by now your face, Rosh. How good is that?
It's so good.
It's so good, isn't it? Then, once that's thickened, obviously in real time it would be a nice thick sauce by now. We're going to add in a teaspoon of garam masala, and we're going to put in a bay leaf, and we're going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of chunky black pepper. And you mix all that through like that. That thickens up, and that basically becomes your sauce. When it's nice and thick, what you do is you strain it through into a bowl, and that's as easy as that. Now, let me get rid of that one, and we'll make the pie. So, we are now left with our sauce, which is basically, that's what it's going to look like once you've done it. And in this pan, I've got some onions and I've got some mushrooms. I've sweated them down, all really gorgeous. I'm going to put in a cup of frozen peas, which is lovely. Now, boiled chicken. This is my little chick. I like pies inside to be really neat. I don't want them to be sloppy. So I just boiled a breast piece of chicken, chopped it up, and that's now going to go into there. So you're
just literally boiled it in some water?
Boiled it in some water, in some stock if you want a little bit more flavour. But this is what we do in Chinese takeaways, because we need speed when we're cooking.
Right.
So the majority of the meat is pre-cooked. And so for this kind of dish. So we're going to stir that through.
You can prep that earlier.
Prep that earlier. And this is great on a Monday after you've had a roast dinner. Got any chicken meat there? It's perfect. Now we're going to add in our curry sauce, like that. All of that goes in. Now, if your curry sauce is a bit thin, if it's a bit watery, just add a tiny bit of corn flour mixed into some water, and that will thicken it and make it really glossy straight away.
Right.
But there you go. Then we're going to add in a little bit of sugar, just a little bit of salt, and some more pepper to taste. Now, you have to taste this all the way through. And that is basically your chicken curry filling. Now, if you go to the website, all the ingredients here, you're going to make too much of it for the pies. So you can just freeze this off, and it's really good. It will last about 2 to 3 months in the freezer, but you can then just pull that out when you want a quick dinner. Now, onto the pie. So I bought one of these pie makers, courtesy of a friend of mine, Sam Todd, recently.
What?
He bought one.
Maker?
And it's a pie maker. It's like a sandwich maker, but you make pies in it. And what you do is you get shop-bought pastry, short crust. You get this cutter. The bottom one does the base, which is this one. The top one does the lid. And then Julia, our home ec, came up with this really clever little trick. Wrap it around the bottom of a glass or a cup. You pop it into the pie maker when it's on. Squash the sides down slightly. Then you get...
Oh, I'm going to order pie maker.
Can you
now,
believe
aren't I?
this? Then you get your pie mixture. Now, I would say go for all the chunky stuff to begin with into your pie. Like that. Like that. And then you put a bit of sauce on top. You don't want to overfill this because it gets a bit messy. Then you'll whack on...
this pastry's come out of that, has it?
Yes,
Out of the
absolutely.
pie maker.
Exactly the same.
It's quite a hard pastry.
Is it?
It does make quite a
lovely.
hard...
Because it's more toasted than it is baked.
Perhaps
probably.
that's what it is,
Right.
yeah.
Then what you do is you get your pie top, so easy, press it on top. Now, be careful, because this is switched on, so there's a little bit of heat. And then all you do, like a sandwich maker, is you close
like a toasty.
it down. And it's about 12 minutes for this one, but the one I've got from at home is a 10-minute one. Then you are left with your gorgeous pies. You might want to go around the edges if you want to be very neat like me.
Yeah.
And cut off the excess bits of pastry. But then you have got your pie, and if you don't have a pie maker at home, you can do it in a pie mould, or I made this one, which is a pot pie, which is basically just a dish and a short crust pastry on top. And it's basically really easy. It's slightly embarrassing, but I'm going to cut into that one quickly, just so you can see. I haven't got a knife. I'm going to break it.
Here, do you want a knife?
No, it's all right. I'll break it. So there you go. So this is what you're left with.
I thought he was going to just
with
eat
your
it.
pie. But look at that chicken curry pie.
Oh.
And it's so
Look at it.
delicious, and it is that easy to make. Happy New Year for next year.
Thank you
amazing.
so much.
It's good, isn't it?
honestly.
Did you enjoy it?
There's a party in my mouth.
There really is.
Thank you. For all the details of today's recipe and many more from our chefs, download our free This Morning app.